Whether you are into cryptocurrencies or not, you've got to hear what I have to say. The first thing we are going to talk about is the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum and the other cryptocurrencies. The second thing, I'm going to tell you why this has been the case over this short period of time. And the third thing, the potential for regulations, limitations, and of course, potential pitfalls that are coming through, and also understanding the capital controls. All of this connects in together. Let's go. To understand what's happening in the cryptocurrency space, we need to first understand what's going on in the stock markets. And you could see this right here. All I'm showing you is over this period of time, over the last year, the stock market has done very well. We know that. But in the last little while, the amount of stocks that are above their 50-day moving average has been declining. Now, isn't that very interesting? You could see that right here. It kind of struggled to get by over the last month, and that number has since declined. What does that tell you? And what does all this jargon mean? It means that there are a handful of stocks that are carrying the rest. That wasn't the case a few months ago. This number was increasing. Now it's coming down. Now it's decreasing, okay? So that's where we are at today. When there is sort of a broad spectrum of stocks that are rising, that's healthy. That's a good sign. When we get down to this narrowing band, that means there is less and less attractiveness for these particular stocks. You could see weakness in particular sectors, and then you go down a little further and you start to see which individual stocks are really making this happen. Now, you are probably already aware. It's been all over the news. It's been in the crypto space and outside of it. You could see in this article and the one I'll show you next that Bitcoin briefly tops $50,000 level for the first time since mid-May. World's largest digital coin is up about 70% from a July low. So anybody who bought into that dip has done very well. There's no doubt about that. We will see what happens, of course, in the near future. The largest coin advanced as much as 3.5% to almost $50,000. I'll show you the price in just a second, with other tokens including Ether and Cardano's ADA also rising. So of course the crypto space kind of moves all together, just like stock markets would, but you have some doing better than others. That's always the way it's going to be. As they are talking about the predictions, as always, the number 100,000 comes up very, very frequently. I think there'll be a lot of resistance getting close to that number, but there have been so many people saying 100,000. Now, if you look back in history, seeing what happened with Bitcoin, is it ever going to hit 1,000? No, impossible. Is it ever going to hit 10,000? No, impossible. So any number is truly possible. It all depends what kind of zone we are in. Are we in that risk-taking zone, or are we moving away from that? Okay, looking at this right here on the left-hand side, I want to tell you why this has been going up, other than the fact, of course, that it was down from its high. I mean, it hit 64,000 or so, and then it moved down to a level actually under 30,000. So of course, it can surge for many different reasons. But in the last few days, two key announcements have been positive for the cryptocurrency space. Coinbase said that it would buy $500 million in crypto on its balance sheet and allocate 10% of its profits into crypto assets portfolio. So you know that if they stick to this, that they are going to be one of those big buyers constantly in the space. On Monday, PayPal said that it would launch a service to let people buy, hold, and sell digital currencies in the UK. So PayPal is getting out there, and it's expanding into the UK for the crypto side. This, of course, very, very bullish in general. Doesn't mean it's the only thing that we should be looking at, of course, but all of that positive news. And we'll talk more about a second about the potential downsides here. This right here, you're looking at the BTC and just seeing where it was. I was talking about this all along. People were asking me over and over and over again, particularly on the Money GPS Live, what's going on with Bitcoin? What do you think about it? And I said, we are in this range of about 30 to 35 34,000. It's been bouncing around for a period, and I want to see it sustain levels that are higher than this. All right, it was kind of trading within the moving average, 20-day moving averages, and actually below it. Okay, you could see right here, it's basically, it was kind of like a ceiling for this, but it managed to break above that. And as soon as it did this, I mean, if people were looking at the technical indicators, in my opinion, July 23rd was a period of time in which people could feel that level of confidence to get in. So, but anyway, different story. But you could see how incredibly bullish it has been as we broke above this. Okay, there are many technicals showing us that 33,000, but if you really wanted to be even more certain, there was a lot of certainty coming around this $35,000, $36,000 range, and now look at where it has gone to 50,000. Okay, it is still within the Bollinger Bands. That's the purple line, as you can see right here. Anytime it finds itself outside of that, it comes back in. You could see what happened right here in this particular case. Okay, that is July 30th. It found its way to the top of the Bollinger Band, and guess what? It came down. It finds support approximately around that 20-day moving average, but still the general direction is up. And what is keeping it here? Remember, the risk on mentality is helping this chug along. Now, I'm looking at Ethereum in this case here, and take a look at, I've never seen a chart like this. You're just seeing like a perfect, like day after day after day after day after day, practically, just riding along the edge of that Bollinger Band, just looking so attractive. And now it's kind of been moving in an upward direction, but much slower. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing for these cryptos. There are many more, of course, but these are the two biggest ones. And there are many other technical indicators, but certainly I just wanted to show you the price action, show you what's happening. And I think that for people who did get in around that period, they are very happy about it. The question is, are they going to sell into these profits, or are they going to let it ride into what they believe is $100,000? Who knows? The price of Bitcoin has increased dramatically right here in 2021. Two positive factors, as we discussed earlier, have overshadowed what has been happening with regulation. That has been one aspect that the markets are worried about. The upcoming Fed meeting may give investors clues as to the risk tolerance that they should be taking. So stay tuned. I will cover it here, of course, on the channel. I found this article here and the next one that we'll talk about very interesting. I just wanted to bring it to you really quickly. Inside Afghanistan's cryptocurrency underground as the country plunges into turmoil. For many Afghans this week laid bare the worst case scenario for a country running on legacy financial rails, a nationwide cash shortage, closed borders, a plunging currency, and rapidly rising prices of basic goods. So that's a country using their currency, trying to make ends meet. And of course, there's restrictions and sanctions and then all kinds of turmoil that's happening politically and so on. But the people who are, have assets, whether that is something like a cryptocurrency or maybe, physical gold and silver and so on, they are going to be able to handle this situation much better than those who are not in this case, who are trying to rely on that paper. Okay, because the paper is losing value rapidly. They do talk about this particular instance here, this particular case, if you're interested in learning about that. But I think it teaches people a lesson as to why we need to diversify what we have, why we need to hopefully earn income in different currencies. Okay, if you're only earning your income, or at least keeping your income in one type of currency, that could be a risk at some point in the future. And then we have this over here. Afghan central banker sees currency drop, capital controls ahead. Okay, so the currency, this is basically he was just up until recently, former central banker. But anyway, there's just saying that Ahmadi says Afghani may renew tumble, spur faster inflation. Country could see economic crisis on top of the drought, on top of other problems that they are experiencing today. They do get into more details here, but essentially what we're looking at is a problem within this government, within what's happening today, affecting the people directly. And the whole message I'm trying to just outline here is that we can't rely on a government. We can't rely on the banks. We can't rely on our company, our 9 to 5 to pay us and so on, because things can change in an instant. If your company runs into trouble, hey, we gotta let you go. You've heard that before. You've seen people get walked off. You've seen people that worked so hard for so many years, and during this year to last year, they were saying, well, due to the circumstances, we have to reduce your salary. Do you still want your job? Sure, no problem. Got to reduce your salary. So I think people should be diversifying and looking outside of everything that they've been into at this time, okay? Of course, I can't give too much detail. We're not allowed to talk about the contents here, but check it out. The link will be in the description. I recommend it. Fed officials will seek to avoid a tantrum as they keep taper talk going at the key summit. So this is Jackson Hole. They're talking about, I will give you the updates, of course, when they come out. This is going to be in the coming days. They are supposedly going to talk about the taper. We're going to get the information. Maybe they will release the real deal that we need to know at the FOMC meeting. But this is kind of like, the big event for them. So we'll see what happens. I will give you the news you need to know, but this is really telling, not just for Bitcoin and crypto and so on, but for everything. Everything is really hinging on this risk on mentality that, in my opinion, has gone to excessive levels. If we start to see the risk off, we could see different things. Maybe, perhaps, that Bitcoin and that Ethereum, maybe it's seen as being at a lofty level. Who knows, right? We really don't know until the time comes. But I think that investors should just be paying close attention to what's happening with this Fed meeting. And I will bring you everything you need to know, of course. And then last, I just wanted to touch on this. I know it's unrelated, but think about it, okay? German exporters face rising pressure from China in home market. EU is importing growing share of high-quality goods from China. Beijing is drawing inspiration from Germany's economic model. And all I'm trying to say is that things are changing. What was going on 20 years ago, I assure you, it's still being talked about like it's as if it's happening, but things are changing big time. It isn't what it used to be in many cases, in many cases. So have that in mind, keep it in mind. And I'm going to end the video there. But what I wanted to share with you is that if you want to get the information from me directly, the best place to do that is at the Insiders. That's a way for you to contact me directly. I can contact you directly 5 days a week. I'm going to send you the video of the day, and we can get around the censorship and the lock, any sort of prevention of me getting to you. This is going to be my way to do that. We've got thousands of people already signed up, and I hope that thousands more will do that. You can do so at this card up here or for free at themoneygps.com. If you haven't already, which I don't know why you haven't, you got to give a thumbs up. When you do, you make unicorns and rainbows appear right in front of your very eyes. Hit that thumbs up button. Thank you. And if you haven't seen this video already, you got to check it out. Click it, and I'll see you there.